What are personal projects? Well, for me, anything that you're working on that you're not being paid for or that no one else is expecting you to do are personal projects. जो तुम अपनी खुशी से अपने आर्ट, अपने क्राफ्ट के लिए और अपने पर्सनल सेटिस्फैक्शन के लिए कर रहे हो, those are personal projects. Today I want to talk about the power of personal projects. So what happens when we get started, we are very passionate about our work. If I talk about myself, I started off with photography and I was very passionate. मेरे को था कि कहीं भी कोई भी shoot दे दो मुझे. I just need an excuse to be shooting. And if there was no one giving me shoots, I was shooting, going out on trips and shooting pictures and even videos by myself. I was telling people कि चल आजा यहाँ चलते हैं, यहाँ पे shoot करते हैं. If no one else, I was picking up my brother from home and telling him चल तेरे साथ shoot करते हैं. So I was always up to something, always creating something. But जैसे मुझे धीरे धीरे पैसे मिलने लगे काम के लिए, so I did not realize, but I kind of stopped somewhere to work on my personal projects. मैं एक उस mindset में चला गया था कि if you're not paying me for it, then why should I do it? And that was correct in a way, because why should I shoot for someone else if they're not paying me for it? उस सब के बीच में I somewhere also stopped working on my own personal projects because I thought that it's not going to pay me or no one's asking me to do it, so why should I do it? Because of that, over the years, there has been a long list of projects that I've always wanted to work on, but I never did because I thought कि इसके लिए पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है ना, and always prioritized projects that were paying me, the commercial ones. Even though I feel that is my own problem, but I also know that there are so many people out there, so many creators out there, so many freelancers out there who are like putting their own personal projects on the back seat. और ये ना हमारी थोड़ी गलत बात है क्योंकि हमने ना खुद को थोड़ा sabotage कर दिया है. And now we are just in a space where if you pay me, then I'll do it. If you don't pay me, then that project is not happening. If I talk about myself, I've been shooting commercially for the past 4-5 years. और कॉलेज के टाइम से there are some projects that I've always written down and I always thought कि मैं इनको कभी तो बनाऊंगा, बहुत मज़ा आएगा. And I always have been very passionate about them. But I have been so consumed by the commercial projects that are going on around me that I just put them on the back seat and never really executed them or worked on them. And now when I sit and think of it, I feel like that is such a bad decision that I made because I thought कि अच्छा time नहीं है अभी, ये चल रहा है वो चल रहा है, I'm not getting paid for it and all that. But if I look back, there have been so many projects that I've done which were on such a tight deadline and like record-breaking deadlines that I've worked on and executed projects and released them just because there was a deadline and I was being paid for it and I was accountable to someone for it. बट जब अपने पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स की बारी आती है तो वी आर लाइक चल ठीक है देखेंगे, जब टाइम लगेगा तो आई विल डू दैट टू. एंड दैट हैज़ बीन द बिगेस्ट ड्रॉबैक ऑफ माई लाइफ. नाउ व्हाई आई एम सजेस्टिंग यू टू वर्क ऑन पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स. क्या फ़ायदा है तुम्हारा पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम करके, क्यों करना है? व्हेन यू गेटिंग पेड फॉर स्टफ, देन व्हाई डू यू वांट टू ब्रेक दैट फ्लो एंड वर्क ऑन समथिंग दैट्स नॉट इवन पेइंग यू? My real reason to suggest you to work on personal projects is, one, to let yourself know that you're not doing it for money, you're doing it for the passion and for the fun of it. The second reason is कि जब हम कमर्शियल काम करते हैं तो वी आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेड बाय अ ब्रीफ और लिमिटेड बाय व्हाट द क्लाइंट वांट्स और व्हाट आवर रोल इज ऑन द प्रोजेक्ट. लेकिन पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स में क्या होता है, बिकॉज इट्स योर ओन प्रोजेक्ट, you decide what you will do on it. Like you can try your hand at direction or you can try your hand at script writing or editing or whatever that you've not done before that you would like to explore. तो वहाँ पे तुम्हें एक benefit मिल जाता है. And more than that, you can try out different genres of your art. Like for example, if I'm into travel and non-fiction filmmaking, maybe I want to direct and shoot a horror film or a thriller, which in normal course of events I might not be paid for because that is not where my expertise lies. But once I've worked on that personal project and I've made a horror or a thriller film, then at least I have something to show to people so that they can visualize that I can pull something like this off. And that is where I would also say that personal projects allow you the space to upscale your portfolio in a way that the commercial projects might not give you the space to. और इसी सब के साथ it will also show people the unseen side of you and you will feel proud of yourself for doing work. And by the way, personal projects, I don't mean कि you have to do it alone as a solo creator or a solo filmmaker or a solo designer. A personal project could be with probably 50 more people. But by personal project I mean कि एक ऐसा project जिसको तुम initiate कर रहे हो, जिसको कोई production house या कोई brand या कोई client initiate नहीं कर रहा है. It's your own project, it's your own idea, it's your own vision. So if you're in the commercial game, don't forget that there have been so many projects that you've wanted to do since forever and you've been pushing them off just because they're not paying you or you don't have enough time to execute them, because you know that you've completed projects even on the tightest of deadlines, तो ये भी तुम कर सकते हो. Now I also know that personal projects में ये थोड़ा perfectionism वाला angle भी आ जाता है कि no, it's my project, it's very close to my heart, I want to release it when it's perfect. पर मत करो, कभी ख़त्म नहीं होगा. मैं बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल हूँ. 5 साल से कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स पे काम कर रहा हूँ, आज तक ख़त्म नहीं किया, just because I've been waiting for the right time and the right mindset and all that. It doesn't happen that way. You have to start and you have to make sure that okay, you're doing it and you're releasing it. I know this video is a little contrary to what I talked about yesterday, where I was talking about commercializing your inner artist, but today I'm talking about how to decommercialize that artist. But that's also one way to go about it, because personal projects are what actually define you and what give you the space to show who you really are and what you really have inside of you. So please don't forget who you are, where you're going, how you're going, and work on them. क्यों इतने पटाखे फोड़ रहे हो तुम?